W's and L's, a weekly recap show. We give a dub to the things that we like and an L to the things that we don't. Birthday boy, it is on you.
You want me to start with Dubs or else? Positivity, negativity. Where are we gonna lead?
I have a lot of
people?
L's, so bring in the positivity.
Okay, cool. All right, let's start with a dub that has been a couple weeks coming. Actually, should have already have knocked this one out, but we're here now, so we'll go ahead and do it. How out is the only organization in the NBA that I see that runs itself like a Fortune 500 company that holds all of its employees from the 12th man on the roster all the way down to the head coach. But they hold them all accountable. They hold them to the same standard of winning, same standard of excellence. You know, all of the athletes have that body fat, guideline that they have to go by. They have to be a certain body fat or under to be active to play. Like they run their shit like an actual. A lot of people talk about it being a business, but really there are so much leeway and there's so much bureaucracy in between the business and the actual person that's supposed to be conducting the business that it doesn't always end up looking like that. There's so many allowances that makes it not look like everyday business. The Miami Heat run it like they punch in at 8 and then they clock out at 5 and they take an hour lunch and while they're there they give 110. And because of that, right, sticking with that mindset and sticking with that culture, they have their players back. You give us everything, or not even just their players, anybody involved with the organization. You give us everything, we're going to give you everything back. To the extent that they would wait to lock down an NBA, a full-on NBA commodity, which is that of Eric Spoelstra, who happens to be one of the longest tenured coaches, one of the highest winning percentage coaches, and one of the only ones that sport one of them a couple of them championship rings around, right? He's the NBA commodity. They are going to leave him open. You know, he was a lame duck coach coming into this year, right, without an extension. They waited to do it until his divorce finalizes. They're under no obligation to do that. Why would they even stick their nose in that and be like, for her to come out and be like, oh, well, they did that on purpose, and now I'm trying to have to sue the Heat. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They said, lawyer up, baby. Because we ain't going to get this. We're not going to pin this extension until y'all done selling up. So now all of this new money that he's got with the Heat for the next 5 years, no mas. Sorry, senorita, we already settled that up. This is my new employment. This is my new money after us. Shout out to the Heat, man. Shout out to the Heat. Shout out to the Heat.
Absolutely. I'm just surprised that, at least from when Spoelstra was with the Heatles, with LeBron and all of them, I'm surprised he just became a great coach after that. Like, I didn't see that coming. I thought he was just going to be, like you said, a lame duck.
I'm not. I think if more organizations operated like the Heat and Pat Riley, that you would see more coaches like that. But now there's so much everything, nepotism, racism, a lot of isms, and a lot of incompetency, and not just NBA front offices, NFL, and a lot of professional sports, because of how they get these positions, they are not ingrained into the business that they are now in charge of running. It's kind of akin to what happens in the corporate world. You start looking at a lot of people's exec boards, and you find a lot of people who were nephews and nieces and had college associations or family associations and things of that nature in positions, and then they fail. Then you look back and be like, oh, well, on paper they were perfect. What happened? They failed. Well, they didn't need to be in that position, and they only got there because of who they knew. And so that's not the Heat organization.
Yeah, I was going to say, that still happens in the NBA, but not in the Heat organization.
Yeah. I mean, you think about some of the teams that the Heat have won with, and they weren't always outside of the Heatles, like you said, with LeBron and D-Wade and them. They weren't always far and away the most talented teams. Shaq and D-Wade, sure. But you had a balanced NBA at that point where it was other teams that could have rivaled that. Now, they were the best that year in 2006, right, when D-Wade won that MVP.
True that.
But I don't know, man. I just feel like they've always done it a certain kind of way. They did it with Alonzo Mourning and Shaq. They did it with um well, they got back with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and all of them. It's like they have a program, they run it. They're not gonna bend over for no superstars, no matter who you think you are and what you mean to this generation of basketball. They're still not gonna bend over. And I mean, but they've won more with LeBron, maybe, probably. I mean, he's won 2 championships since then. I happen to think he had a better crew in Cleveland than he did in Miami when you factor in a Kyrie
The
Irving, a
entire
younger
team.
Kyrie Irving as opposed to D Wade.
Sure.
So I don't know. Now we in the weeds, but shout out to the Heat.
Yeah, definitely one of the storied dynasties, along with the Lakers, the Celtics, and the Heat. I mean, they're one of those teams.
Yeah.
Pistons, low key.
Yeah, I think Knicks fans would be mad at you that they didn't get mentioned before the Heat, but I mean, be mad, I guess. Second dub. Okay, we can get into a little bit of Star Wars news, just a bit. Dabble. No spoiler talk, but
Been a minute.
I did want to recognize, because we do a lot of talking about when people put their foot in their mouth. And for this person in particular, I think kind of A, reading the room, and B, being historical, right? Using historical references over situations you are currently in to dictate what you may do going forward, right? So one Daisy Ridley, right? Rey Skywalker Palpatine, the lead for the sequel trilogy, last 3 films of the Star Wars installments. Don't want to get into the weeds about how fan reception about her portrayal or anything like that. I don't think necessarily the venom has been pointed at Daisy Ridley. Even honestly, it's more so sort of the story and the inconsistency in the production and things of that nature and delays and everything else around Daisy Ridley. It hasn't necessarily been Daisy Ridley that's the problem. But we know Star Wars is a hotbed for controversy and conflict between the ultra feminist left and the super incel basement dwelling right to come together and do battle in glorious fashion, like it's Game of Thrones. And so, sticking with that, with that narrative, or with that ideology, the director of the new movie that Rey is going to be starring in just wanted to come and take an oil tanker and throw it right into the middle of it and just let it whoosh. Oh yes, I like to make men uncomfortable. That is definitely a job of mine. It's not. It's not. It's just not a job of yours.
That's a crazy accent.
You don't make patrons uncomfortable. No, but that's what she said. She said, I just like to make men uncomfortable. It's the thing that I like to do when I'm making my films. I'm not a real filmmaker, by the way. I didn't go to film school. Like, she just did not do a very good job of presenting herself as the latest director in the Star Wars franchise. But what have you, right? She said what she said. The obvious reaction ensued. And so then we were left with a lot of the usual stuff for Star Wars Online, right? A lot of vitriol. We got a lot of the reaction that you thought you were going to get. A lot of people upset. A lot of people not trying to get down with that. A lot of people seeing a lot of the same stuff they've seen in, what just name a Star Wars project in the last 5 years: Boba Fett, Mandalorian, any
Ahsoka.
of the movies. So I liked Ahsoka until the end, and I don't think it was so female centric that they had to dumb down other male characters to get there or anything like that. Ahsoka wasn't done in bad taste. It just didn't have great execution. The rest of these haven't been done in great taste. And then for Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy to come into it head first, and that's what we leading with, tells me you're either oblivious or you're of the same mindset that helps your project in some way, which I'll never be able to understand. Daisy Ridley, on the other hand, gets asked about it, right? In lieu of those comments from her director, you know what she does? She didn't do what Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy did. She didn't do what Brie Larson did. She said, "Hey, you know what? That That sexism stuff in Star Wars is overblown. I meet Star Wars fans all the time. They've always treated me well, and I'm just excited about moving on.
Shocking.
Lord have mercy. Now, when the movie crashes, if it gets canceled or if it eventually comes out and it sucks, and believe me, those are the only two options. They're the only two options here. When either one of those things comes out, guess who the will not receive the full head on vitriol of those who you are trying to avoid it from? Guess who won't receive the burnt load of the blame? Like critically. Like we're out of incel talk now. Let's just talk critical acclaim. She will not get the bulk load of the blame critically either. Because she did not lambast the entire fan base as one way and tell them that they can all be addressed in the same way. She had enough sense to dodge that question and put herself back in a position of strength. Yeah, no, the Star Wars fans I talked to have been great. They showed tremendous love for the movies, and like, I mean, you know, it's all there in the Variety article. You guys can go ahead and check it out when you get a chance. But never did she lean into this whole male versus female, or it's my duty as a woman to be womanified at every second in this Star Wars movie. Like, she didn't do that, right? And it tells me she has some sense of how to navigate these waters where she knows to a certain degree she's walking into a fever dream. Like, this is not necessarily the only people who are pretending like we wanted this movie is Disney. And she's not dumb enough to convince herself that there's like millions of Star Wars fans who are clamoring for Rey to come back to the forefront. She's trying to do her best as the lead in this role to keep interest in the movie without distancing herself from the fans that she still needs to make money.
And causing a spiral of hate like some other actresses would.
Like the director of the damn movie. Here's a thought. Here's a thought. Maybe the best thing to do for women in Hollywood in front of and behind the screen is to effectively make a good movie that people like and do it from your chair, which is the director's chair, not an activist chair, not a politician chair. It's a director's chair. So doing your job effectively from your seat does far more for women in front of and behind the camera than telling them how much you want to make men uncomfortable. I'm just saying.
So simple.
I'm saying.
So simple.
And it sounds like Daisy Ridley is willing to let her work do the talking as opposed to writing a dissertation and giving it to Variety. My last W I got is going out to the first Black head coach at the University of Michigan, Mr. Sherrone Moore. Yeah, man, it means a lot. Means a lot. That's not what I'm necessarily giving him a dub for, though. That's not what I'm giving him a dub for, because I thought he was the odds-on favorite to get the job, and they didn't waste much time. It was only about 48 hours before he got the job. So
absolutely,
all sounds good, and that's what I expected. And I just, hope he takes a harder look at recruiting. I know they're not going to necessarily change their philosophy on NIL, but maybe just beefing up the recruiting department, being more of a coach who's in tune to recruiting, right? Like, that doesn't tell me much about what kind of head coach you are, because there are tons of head coaches across the country that are great recruiters and don't seem to know what the fuck they're doing in a game. Shane Beamer, Mario Cristobal, this Scott Frost. Let's just. There are tons of coaches that can get you to come to their school, Hugh Freeze, and then you're gonna get there and you're gonna win 7 games at max.
That's a fact.
So,
I get that.
You know what I mean? But I do see the benefit in being more player focused, because then I feel like those relationships play more. Then was more so of I'll come at the last minute and swing my wiener, or excuse the language, but I'll swing my wiener around and tell everybody about my NFL history, and that'll carry his weight. But he wasn't involved in the recruiting up until that point. But I would like to see a different approach in that regard. But other than that, the team should stay the same. The reason why I'm giving my boy a dub is because one of the things that was in the back of my mind when we were talking about new head coaches, when we found out that Jim Harbaugh was going to the league, was an interview that Sharon Moore did after the Penn State game, not the on-field one, but the one he did in the post game, where a reporter asked him about how he felt about being the first black head coach at Michigan, or how he would feel about being the first black head coach at Michigan. And boy, my man gave one of them answers that just made you hang your head. And let's just say it wasn't very strong. There was some, I don't see color in there. There were some mentions of his Caucasian wife. It just didn't go very well. I didn't like it.
I didn't like it either.
It was kind of in my head, and I'm like, yo, this guy has to go into black living rooms with black fathers and black mothers all across the country and convince them that he's the guy to stick up for their children and protect them, protect these black children, right? That's one thing. And on the other hand, I'm like, hey, yo, Sharon, do you understand that you are going to be the head coach at one of the oldest Caucasian universities on the planet? Like, they just started letting Negroes play in the 50s, okay? Not, they did it before Ohio State, but they did it in the 50s. You know what I'm saying? So understand what you walking into, 100-year plus history, and not a single one of them 20 coaches that came before you was black. Okay? Like, you got to know you black more than I know you black, okay? Understand that. My boy got up there, got that same question at the presser, and gave up. Knocked out. Gave up. That means somebody on that roster, I don't know if it was Jim, I don't know if it was Ward, I don't know if it was somebody in his personal camp. Whoever got that man together, God bless you. God bless you. Because if he'd have got up there talking that that Larry Elder, goddamn Thomas Sowell nonsense about not seeing color, I'd have been like, hey man, hey, listen, I don't know, G, I don't know. I don't know what that's going to happen. But he gave a much better answer.
Yeah, no, shout out to Sharon Moore for keeping the consistency of the white first lady in the Michigan office. You know, that's what Michigan men do, you know. White women. Let's get Chelsea back up in there one more time.
Now let's not do this. These are a lot of former football players. So let's not look at that coaching staff and see all the wives on either side. Let's just
that's a fact. That's a fact.
In terms of the composition of the staff, it's black as hell. It's black. They didn't just give you a black head coach. They gave you a black secondary and safeties coach. They gave you a black running back coach. They gave you a black wide receivers coach. They gave you a black offensive line coach. They gave you a black tight ends coach. They gave you a black, I think that's it. That's it. Those are all the black coaches. That's it. Because they still need a linebacker coach.
A defensive coordinator.
See, here's where I'm going to shift over to my L's. Because the reason why I was so steadfast, and Rashad, you're definitely right, Ben Herbert is a must. The reason why I was so pressed about Sharon understanding that he's black and that he coached for Michigan is that there seems to be this attitude amongst the Michigan beat that I don't really understand. And I'm talking about the Michigan media, your On3 guys, your Isaiah Holes, your Chris Ballases, that apparatus of media, right? What I'm not getting is why Michael Hart and Steve Clinkscale aren't the first names out of your mouth for offensive and defensive coordinator. That I don't get it, especially given the stipulations that you want. You want somebody to keep the defensive system the same. You want somebody who can call the plays and somebody who is not going to change the scheme all that much, right? Okay. Well, Steve Clinkscale is already a co-defensive coordinator. So he's like a sick day away from calling the defensive plays all year. And not only was he there under Jesse Minter the last 2 years, but he was there under Mack when it first got installed. So a co-coordinator who's been under the system in both variations and sending guys to the league who ain't got no business going in the first. Well, I won't say ain't got no business, but definitely weren't slotted to go in the first round before they got into his program, going in the first round in the last 2 years. Well, I'm confused why Clinkscale's name is not right there at the top of that list. Conversely, Mike Hart, been an offensive coordinator, been an associate head coach at Indiana, been a play caller, running backs coach here at Michigan. Now, I don't know if anybody remembers what Hassan Haskins and Zach Charbonnet looked like before Mike Hart got here. But I sure as hell know what they looked like after. I know what Blake Corum turned into. I know what Donovan Edwards turned into. I know what Khalil Mullins turned into. And it is not a single 5-star. I'm sorry, Donovan Edwards. Donovan Edwards is the only 5-star out of those guys. Completely transformed our running game along with the offensive line. I'm telling you, if you don't have a 1,200-yard back in Hassan Haskins, a 1,400-yard back in Blake Corum, and then another 1,300 yards from Blake Corum this year, you're not winning on Natty. You're not winning on Natty. Dude, no matter how good your offensive line is. So I'm confused why I'm listening to the guys who are driving the narrative about who the next coordinators for Michigan is going to be, and we don't have our internal guys who are most prepared to be them here in-house, and you talking about continuity. How are you talking continuity out of one side of your mouth, but, Steve Clinkscale can't be the defensive coordinator? Why? If continuity and keeping the scheme is all the same, why not having a coach that's already on the roster and knows the scheme elevate to the coordinator? I'm confused. Somebody's going to have to explain it to me beyond, no, we already got a black head coach. We can't have black head coach and black coordinators on the offensive and defensive side. Especially when you're giving me all of the white options from the NFL. Yeah, just go pick an analyst at the Ravens. So any random analyst at the Ravens is better than Steve Clinkscale. Just anyone. Any random analyst that John Harbaugh can pull out of his ass is better than Steve Clinkscale. I'm going to have to get off that shit, man.
Yeah, I don't think there's any better option for offensive coordinator than Mike Hart. I mean, he is a Michigan man, a well-respected Michigan man.
Talking about Mike Macdonald. Mike Macdonald was an analyst this time last year. Before Homeboy got fired, if Homeboy doesn't get fired, Mike Macdonald is still an analyst. He's a passing game analyst. How is he more adept at calling plays than Mike Hart, and a former associate head coach? Make it make sense. Explain it at least. Don't just say this shit and don't quantify it at all. Well, I don't see Clinkscale getting elevated. Why? Well, it's probably going to be Mike Macdonald to offensive coordinator. Why? Why are y'all? First of all, why are you floating it before you have any hard, concrete information? And then why are you so unwilling to even quantify it with anything other than just scuttlebutt? I don't know. That shit probably pissed me off. Like, everybody's going to get raises, but the guys who have been here, who have the coordinating experience, who have their career has led them towards either a head coaching position or at very least a coordinator. I would hate to lose Mike Hart because we wanted to make Mike Macdonald offensive coordinator in his second year. So, Black Panther family, we have gotten the bad news about the Black Panther ongoing book by Dr. Eve L. Ewing. It is looking like it's going to be canceled on issue 10. 5 issues shorter than that of the anti-Black, self-hating Mr. Creator himself, John Voldemort. Almost said that man's name on this platform mistakenly. Yes. You can't say it wasn't called. Killmonger called it from the gym. We at least thought that she would get 2 complete arcs, right? 10 issues is not 2 complete arcs. It's an issue. It's a couple issues shy of 2 arcs. Beyond Chill and some other reviewers, I have seen the general sentiment being that it just didn't go fast enough. Maybe she should have skipped past all of the Ridley stuff since we didn't like it anyways and just started off in a better place. And if you don't do something with these titles fast and, they don't give you the time to build it up and you're not going to have the time, people are not going to be interested and it doesn't sell and this and that. And there's a lot of stuff. And a lot of that can be true or false, but I'm not going to argue that with y'all. I'm going to put the focus right where it deserves to be on Cebulski or Moss or whoever is in charge of editorial over Black Panther. This is a fucking embarrassment. This is trash. It's garbage. You keep marching these women out there, right? Oh, look how good we are. Look how progressive we are. Look how non-racist we are. We got Dr. Eve L. Ewing, and we put her on one of the flagship characters in Marvel. Yeah, flagship my ass. Flagship my ass. Because not only do you not stick the title with a creator whose bona fides and whose reputation is above reproach, right? Not only do you not do that, but the black creator who you're putting up there as a fucking poster board, as a goddamn advertisement for, look, we're not racist. You only give her 10 fucking issues to do it. So you bluster up this big ass interview when you were previewing the book. We covered it. We talked about the first black woman to write Black Panther, which was a fucking lie from the jump. Which was a lie. I guess Karama Horn and Roxane Gay don't exist. But y'all pubbed it up as that though, right? First black woman to be writing on the Black Panther ongoing. This is what should have been said. Y'all pumped that up. Y'all gave it to us like this is something that we should be excited for. And you don't even let her complete the whole second arc. She comes out in this looking worse than fucking John Coon Ridley. I don't even be calling people cool on this platform, but he deserves it. Like, for real? There's no plan. There's no plan. They are throwing black bodies at Black Panther and hoping that something sticks. And when they mean stick, they mean something that is so either controversial or shocking to the system that people flock to go buy it so they can talk shit about it on the internet. That is the only value that they put in their black titles. That is what they're there for. They want her to go in there. Fuck if it's a coherent story. Fuck if it brings any connective tissue from the last run to try to clean it up and make it make sense. Fuck if she's done anything to reestablish the character and put some respect on his goddamn name. She's out of here because she can't clear the top 100. I'm sorry to drop this fact on those who hold comic book numbers as the end-all be-all in terms of whether or not a book is a success in the comic book industry. It is a dying industry that has very small margins and low volume. They're not in it for the revenue. No one working in comics can argue that they're in it for the revenue. Not the distributors, not the content creators, not the people who are collecting, not even the shop owners. You are talking about a low-volume product that's aging out, that is easier accessible on things like Amazon than they are to go to your local comic store every Wednesday. The way that you would address a movie and its success, okay, they put up this amount of money, this is what they got back from that amount of money, is not necessarily what they're judging for success in this industry, if that even exists anymore. It is such a diminished market. But for you to argue that it is not financially feasible to keep a title going like Black Panther because the first 10 issues didn't grace where you thought it was supposed to be. First of all, fucker, why don't you put Jonathan Hickman on the title? You want it to be in the top 10? Why don't you put Kieran Gillen on the title? Because you don't want it to be in the top 10. You want to have a quick excuse to cancel it anyways and not have to spend a whole bunch of money on it in the first place. Why you got Dr. Eve L. Ewing? I feel bad for her. I would never work for these people again. It's the second time that they've done that to her. They did it on the Photon series. They did it on Black Panther. And that one wasn't tagged. Black Panther wasn't tagged as a mini. Black Panther was supposed to be an ongoing comic. Terrible, man. Terrible.
You know what's crazy is from the outside looking in, I always felt like there was at least some sort of sense of integrity, more so on the comic side than there was the film side. This just kind of confirms that they're at least going in the same direction as what the films are doing, which is a
Yeah, I mean,
terrible
Disney
direction.
has had Marvel Comics for 3 years now, 3 years or so. It wasn't set on separate entity, but now it's under the. Oh, no, I think that's more recent. I think that came under their most recent reorg. They brought it under the Disney umbrella. It kind of existed under its own, ran on its own. Still owned by Disney, but ran separately from the Disney company. And now it just seems like the way that they make their normal content is how they're starting to make decisions for comic books. And I tell you what, man, if that's the way they're going, this thing will go faster than y'all thought it was going. It'll go faster than the way y'all thought it was going. It's not even a breeding ground for the content anymore. It's not. They're making up their own stories. They're making their own stories now, so it's not even a worthwhile breeding ground for future storytelling. If they don't go for Koa for X-Men, that'll pretty much confirm it for me that really nothing that is being created in comics anymore is going to be what we see on the big screen until Disney doesn't own it anymore, until they sell it. That's another conversation for another day. It's craziness. It's craziness. And then we sit up there and we'll be like, oh, well, Eve Ewing wasn't a big enough name. The writing was fine enough for it to continue on. And if that's how you felt, then you would nut up and you would put someone on there who had name recognition that people would flock to. But somehow, none of the black characters get that. Shout out to Brian Edward Hill. He's still writing on it. Shout out to Jed McKay. He gives T'Challa the utmost respect in the Avengers book. But I shouldn't have to go to a team-up book to see or a limited extended universe book to see the King of Wakanda. Shouldn't have to see it. And now we'll be going on our 3rd reboot of Black Panther in the last 4 years, and only have gotten 25 issues out of the last 3. Ta-Nehisi Coates read 25 issues in his last run. So I'm confused, man. I don't even understand. And then we look up, and all the shit in front of it that's still going, it's still ongoing. The shit I pass on the rack every Wednesday, right along with Black Panther, still going, still going.
Damn shame.
Hey, at least we got Strange Academy, right?
Right.
Last L is going out to the country of Israel, who lost, and I will characterize it as a loss because it sure felt like a loss to me. Lost their genocide case at the IGS, International Criminal Court, or the ISJ. Why can I not? The International Criminal Court, right? The people who oversee war crimes, accusations of genocide. If you haven't been paying attention, South Africa recently brought allegations of genocide. I don't even know why we're forced to call them allegations. We're all watching them on the internet. But yes, brought them to court and accused them of genocide. They spent about a week arguing giving up their arguments. Israel got a chance to respond. They deliberated for a weekend. They ruled that it is plausible that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. Did not give an order for a ceasefire, which is why it's kind of wishy-washy on whether or not it was an actual victory. But what they did do is they gave them several stipulations that they have to abide by, which most of them are already in place for war, right? But there's an extra component of them reporting the acts of genocide that have already happened and will continue to happen, I'm sure, until they actually get UN boots on the ground and they can start reviewing stuff and getting some validated numbers. The reason why is dope that this happened is because it has been the only confirmation on a legitimized, like a legal standing point that what Israel is doing is probably fucked up. It is fucked up. And then at that, it puts the U.S. in this precarious position of like continuing to send millions of dollars to this country who has human rights violations and genocide accusations in an open court, in an open international court. That's just not going to sit well. Not to mention we in an election year, right? So if Biden has any chance of winning this election, you got to win Michigan. Michigan has a very high Muslim population. When all of this shit started, Biden's approval rate amongst the Muslim community in America went from about 59% all the way down to 17. Right now, as of right now, you know what I mean? It ain't happening. And you don't win a presidential election as a Democrat if you lose Michigan. So, all of this coming together. First of all, none of this should have to be the case for a human life to be saved. Let's just start at that. But realizing that we deal with real human animals, the ones that sit in the halls of Congress, who don't give a shit about real life being lost. You kind of have to work both angles, right? There's a war being fought on the ground, and then there's a political war being fought against those who wish the Palestinians ill. They wish death upon them, death and expulsion. So definitely a banner day for South Africa and in the International Criminal Court. And it'll be years before they get any real determination on whether or not they've been convicted of those genocidal acts. But if they ever do, the boy Netanyahu and Ben-Gvir and all those other heads of state over there who are saying the things that they're saying, they won't be able to escape that. It won't be any different than the Nuremberg trials. They'll get their day in court.
I was gonna say it's gonna be years that this is still gonna go on, unfortunately, for a little bit, but hopefully justice, comes through. Good take. Shout out to brother Marcus for preaching today. He got his takes coming out. In old age, he becomes wiser.
Do you prefer Jonathan Hickman to write a Black Panther book? Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And I know he's going to play a role in what he's got going on with his Ultimate Universe. But again, the problem with that is that I know that by the end of that, however long it's going, I don't know how many issues he's got on that. But by the time that's over, nothing lasting will have happened that's going to carry over into the main 616. Right? They are not giving seasoned writers an opportunity to add to T'Challa's history, right? To add to his legacy, to add to those issues. And it's unfortunate that they keep selling it short, because even when you do have a character, or excuse me, a writer like Eve Hewlin who cares about the character, who shows that she cares about the history of the character, shout out to D-Real and Kamoyo Kid. She talked to him and wrote to him in the back of a few issues of the comic book. Right, like in her Biddy's corner. So it's unfortunate because she ends up taking a reputational hit for having such a short stint, and it's really not her. It doesn't speak to the quality of her work whatsoever. Would I like to see a Hickman? Yeah. Do I think it'll ever happen? No, because Sapkowski and Moss are still editors at Marvel, and they've already shown us what type of priorities they have for Black characters. So I have one more toss-up that I wanted to discuss with the people. We have some community talk we got to get through here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to leave it to you. So I want to talk about Rockets guard or forward, Jalen Green, and his newest girlfriend / question mark baby mama. Miss Drea, your wholeness can get deleted from basketball-wise. And the reason why I'm asking the question is because I have 2 kids now. I got a girl and a boy. And when y'all get into these silly ass relationship conversations online, sometimes I'll be paying attention and I apply it to like, all right, what if that was my kid? And so I got this situation, right? My son or my daughter. Let's use my daughter. My daughter has befriended an older gentleman while she's in her early years. She's in college. She's 21 years old. She's befriended an older gentleman who's 40 years old, right? So at this point, he's pretty close to my age,
Yes.
right?
Well, actually, he's about 10 years from your age. You're 50.
It,
I'm paying you back for all the times you do it to me.
well, I'm still younger than you. So if I'm old, if 31 is old, 46 is
I'm
age.
young at heart. I'm basically 22.
You taking me off my point. I'm going to forget what the fuck I'm talking about. Where were we at? Oh, Dre. Okay. So, yeah. So, she's befriended an older gentleman. He's 40 years old, right? This gentleman has a son who's my daughter's age, right? So, not only do you like young women, probably beyond where you should be reaching, but you nasty enough to have a child that age and still go fuck with a girl that age. Like, I could never. I would be thinking about that all the time. Like, damn, my daughter is this fucking age. Damn. Now, we all recognize equally how gross that shit is, right? And I'd be fully in my rights to dig a hole out back and show my mans to it. Flip the scenario. My daughter is now my son. He's still 21 years old, still young and vulnerable. And now it's a 40-year-old woman with a 21-year-old son who's potentially pregnant by this boy now.
High fives all around, bro. You tagging Dre and Michelle?
We got a problem with that. Anybody got a problem with that?
Oh, absolutely. It's extremely predatory.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I got an issue with it. It seems predatory to me, and it happened so fast. It was like 1 week I'm looking at these pictures with you. I'm like, Jalen, hey man, hey, good watch ass, okay? That is a seasoned pro you fucking with. Don't fuck around with that fuck around. And the next minute, here come all the rumors. Oh, she's pregnant. Oh shit. God damn it. And then I started looking at the age. I'm like, yo, she's getting up there in age. Like, she's not young anymore.
Facts.
She's not young no more. Like, how much older is she than this dude? Because he's like, he's been in the league like 2 years. He was a one and done.
Yep.
40 to 21 is insane. 40 to 21 and you were pregnant within months of knowing him? Girl, get the fuck out of here. Harlot? Get on.
I mean, he had to do something to get the scent off of him after that whole humping situation.
I want y'all to give me, what's the cutoff age difference? And then, if you accept an age difference, does it matter if they're older? So, like, if they was 40 and 60, would we feel the same way about it if they was 21 and 40?
Well, she's 39. That's still an 18-year difference. That's nuts. Either way.
I don't think it's the same thing. And the reason being is the 40-year-old is not some vulnerable virgin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The 40-year-old is not a child. A 21-year-old, I know this now that I'm 31 and not 21, that I was still a kid 41. For real at 21. Like just a big grown kid that had a little bit more responsibilities than maybe I should have. But that's all I was a big grown kid. And so thinking about how I operated, the stupid shit I did when I was 21 years old, did I have any business being around a 40-year-old woman in an intimate setting? Like, why do you even like me? I played a game until 3 a.m. I will survive off of hot Cheetos and Red Bull for a week. Why do you like me? What is interesting about me at 21 years old? Girl, you know what? We'll have another night to talk about
the contract he has.
But
the grown-ass contract he has?
But that's my point. If you're trying to set that aside and say, no, she liked me for me, what does she like about you? You don't even act like the type of niggas that she won't. What is it about you and your young ass that is so attractive to this old woman? Y'all tell me, are y'all uncomfortable about Dre's relationship with Jalen Green? And how far apart is too far apart in age?
An 18-year difference is absolutely crazy.
If you was just holding it down, player, hold it down. But you out here spreading seed, boy. Oh, you crazy as hell. You crazy as
Facts.
hell.
Yeah, William Moloch said, as a Rockets fan, he said, wasn't that woman Zion messing with pretty old as well? I think I just looked it up. It said 33. So there's a 13-year difference. How old is Zion? 20, 21, 12-year difference? It's somewhere around there.
He's like 20 something. He may be 23. Zion been in the league.
So then there's a 10-year difference.
Zion been in the league like 3 years, so he may be like 22, 23.
Okay. Yeah, so there's maybe a 10-year
difference.
That may
only be a 10-year difference. Somebody else said, who said in the chat, said they dated a 20. William Moloch said he dated a 28-year-old when he was 19. Thanks for sharing. I don't think that's as bad. I don't think that's bad at all. That's 10 years. You know what I'm saying? But she's still in her 20s. So, you're still of the same age group, kind of. I am flirting with that age difference a little bit. I think the most I ever did, I was like 20, 19, 20, and 26. Like 6 years, 6, 7 years. But you start going into double digits, 15, 20 years of difference. Boy, you was messing around with this person's, like, father. You may be older than their father or mother. It's weird to know people who have had kids and then go date them kids. I don't see how you could do that. How you can watch these kids be born, come up, and then date them. I don't understand. Like if you had any type of connection to their mother, father, if you knew their mother or father before they was here, and then now you trying to get with them, I don't understand that. It's like, you probably seen the Facebook post when I was born, my G. Why you why you in my face trying to get my number? This is gross.
Yo, that's nuts. One other thing I wanted to point out is the fact that Drea Michelle is like literally the worst mother ever. She literally left her kid to go partying a few years ago. So terrible person to have.
He's grown now.
Terrible person to have a kid with.
He's the same age as Jalen Green.
It's nuts.
Yikes.
Well, actually, William Moloch pointed out Larsa Pippen. So, yeah, maybe she's the worst mother. But
worse. Much worse.
It's in the same
way. So much worse. Like, she probably came to the hospital when Michael Jordan Jr. was born. That is nasty. Like, that's gross. You've seen the embryonic fluid around this boy's nose. Now you're about to marry him? What type of supervillainy is that?
And she out here giving us TMI, like, bro, don't nobody need to hear about how many times y'all having sex, bro.
Bro, if I saw you have a diaper blowout, you're disqualified from dating me ever. If I witnessed your diaper blowout and the ensuing cleanup, we can never date. It's just like there's a cutoff. We can't do it.
It's a crazy world we live in.
Yeah. That's it for my dubs and L's, fella.
All right, cool. Well, like I said, I got a couple dubs, but more L's. Discussion probably heavy on the L side, more so. I'm giving a dub to Kanye West for keeping up with the consistency of holding albums for hostage. So first of all, apparently he's been working on some kind of collab project with Ty Dolla $ign, and it was supposed to come out in...
Oh, Vultures?
Vultures, yeah. It's supposed to come out in, I think, December 1st, or it was supposed to come out in December at first. Then it was supposed to come out like New Year's or some shit. I can't remember if it was Christmas or New Year's. And then he announced that it's supposed to be 3 different albums. And now he just wiped everything off of his Instagram, so nobody knows what the fuck is going on. This man will never do a rollout without holding the album hostage for multiple months.
I think it starts out as a rollout, or at least the labels be letting them treat it like it's a rollout, and then at a certain point it gets annoying, and they be like, "Yo, where the fuck is the music?" To the point where I think it was it Apple who like just went ahead and dropped Donda, like the first version of Donda, and said, "Fuck it, it's coming out now." And then he came back out and said, like, "No, that was the wrong one," and that's why they end up changing it like 3 or 4 times.
Or was that Life of Pablo? No, that was Tidal. So no, it might have been Donda.
That was Donda. That was Donda where they did that shit. They said, "Fuck you, we're dropping this shit tomorrow, and we're not changing it again." God damn it. and ended up changing it 2 more times.
I'm so sick of it. Like, come on, bro, just drop the album. He's the person that if he decided to drop a surprise album on me, I'd be super happy. You don't need a rollout.
There will never be a Kanye surprise album. That will never happen.
It's bullshit.
It will never happen. Probably the closest thing you got to a Kanye surprise album was that what's that shit he did when all the good music was solidified? That the Cruel Summer shit.
Cruel Summer.
Where they had something releasing every week. That's the closest thing you ever gonna get to a surprise album from Kanye.
You know they were supposed to make a Cruel Winter album too?
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
No, it's not now.
It's
supposed to come out like 6 months
out here Tiana Taylor out here trying to juke her kids up out of Iman Shumpert.
Yikes.
Who else is astray? Designer is jacking off on planes, so he can't come back.
Yo, relax.
Who else is there? Is Common dating Just Hilarious?
No, he's dating Jennifer Hudson, I think.
Jennifer Hudson, that's who it was. I knew it was one of those J names. He busy. He got
Very
thick
busy.
thighs to wade through. Who else? I don't think Pusha is fucking with Kanye right now. He got too many Jewish friends. That's fucking up his money.
Sahara Prince, Pusha.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen either.
I'm trying to think of everybody who else was on there. R. Kelly was.
I don't
on
think
the Cruel
anybody's
Summer.
coming back to do it. Huh?
R. Kelly was on Cruel Summer.
Oh,
was.
moving on. I think Charlie Wilson was on there too, but Charlie Wilson can't fucking stand Kanye either because he keep giving him all these fucking gems and he keep getting deleted off the albums. He's sick.
Facts.
He keep giving him all these goddamn gems and he don't keep the songs. I see him talking outside of an airport. He's talking about Kanye. He's like, Kanye's a brilliant producer, but how you gonna make the song and I give you all this shit and then end up I ain't even on the shit. Yeah, poor Charlie.
Damn, Charlie pissed off. That's crazy. All right, so my second dub goes to a underrated restaurant chain, especially when it comes to the dating scene. So I want to start off by saying, you know, the sneaker game used to be a thing where you used to wait for your favorite sneakers. You go online just to find out that shit was sold out, like right when you got onto it. If you didn't buy your shoes at 10:01 when the shoe came out at 10 o'clock, you weren't getting that shoe. Apparently, Applebee's is out here doing similar numbers to Nike. They rolled out a date night pass that sold out on the website immediately. Apparently, with this date night pass, you would get, I think it was $30 worth of food every 52 date nights. So like once a week, you can get like a $30 date night from Applebee's if you buy the pass. Sold out immediately. I didn't even.
Hey, I don't know who put that marketing scheme together. But, hey, bravo.
Applebee's is still in business. I was not aware.
No, that's Chili's that's not in business, bro. Applebee's is still good.
No, Chili's is still in business.
No. Chili's.
There's not a lot of them left, but they're still in business.
No. Hey, listen. Okay, next time you see a Chili's, walk inside.
I will.
There won't be
There's
any real
one
people.
there probably
be
won't.
mannequins.
No, you're right. But that's the same thing for
animatronic that we
Applebee's.
pulled around. What?
That's the same thing for Applebee's. Last time I went to Applebee's, it was dead.
There's real humans eating and working inside of Applebee's. Walk inside of a Chili's. I swear to God, it's gonna be cardboard cutouts. It's gonna be like fucking Home Alone.
The Applebee's on Easton is dead every time I've gone in there recently.
First of all, you keep going back. So that tells me they got at least one patron, because you know enough to know that they be empty when you
I've
go
only
in
gone
there.
once in the last year.
How empty was the Chili's, Josh?
I can't tell you the last time I've been in a Chili's.
Yeah, I know you can't, because Chili's don't really exist no more. It's a truck front.
Bruh,
Anyway,
relax.
The smokeless people need to hire the VP of marketing at Applebee's. They need to poach him right now.
Yeah,
They
sure.
need to poach him right now.
Absolutely.
Or whoever's idea this was, they need to poach them. That's
How
great.
much was it? Oh, okay. So you paid for a $200 ticket, and that got you 52 date nights of up to $30 of food.
So like, what if I go in there and I spend $200 on my bill? Can I get automatically enrolled in the date night thing?
Nah, you had to
That's
buy it
hard though. What the
online at a
fuck do you
specific
spend two
time.
hundred dollars at? You gotta go in there and drink. That's the only way you can spend $200 at Applebee's now.
No. So you paid $200 for the pass that got you $30 dates at Applebee's. So 52
At
$30
Applebee's.
dates.
Got you. I was saying it should work both ways. Like if I just so happen to spend 200 at Applebee's, but that's not a common bill unless you're sitting at the bar. I would imagine.
I don't think this is including that much from the bar. Well, no, it doesn't include anything from the bar because it's up to $30 in food and non-alcoholic beverages, specifically.
No, I was never mind. Anyways, move on.
Sorry, I was reading comments. Applebee's more popping than Fridays nowadays. Arby's is still in business. I want my money back. Money back is nuts.
First of all, do not ever disrespect Arby's. I'm gonna give y'all a hot take. Arby's fast food menu is top 3. Argue with your mom.
The fries are
It's
top
top
2,
five.
and I don't think they're top 2. I don't think they're 2. I think they're number 1.
Well, Riley's fries are the best,
Oh, that's-
followed by
yeah,
probably
okay.
McDonald's.
The curly fries from
McDonald's
Arby's
hot
are
fries are
top
kinda
2.
undefeated. But they're there. They're up there. But it's just an overall menu, fast food wise. They're top 3, and it's not even. It's like 4 is far behind them.
I don't think I eat at
So
Arby's.
you
anymore.
got, of course, you got roast beef sandwiches. That's what everybody thinks about Arby's, and,
Yeah.
and that's what they put in their mind when they say, "Oh, you still go to Arby's?" Nigga, they got gyros. They got smoked brisket sandwiches. They got fish sandwiches that's better than any fish sandwich at the fast food market. Filet of fish, Burger King fish, don't matter. Arby's got the best fish sandwiches. They got an Angus burger now.
They got a buffalo
Right?
chicken sandwich.
They got sliders. They got sliders. They got the best chicken. Yes, you heard me. The best chicken Swiss sandwich. Swiss cheese, bacon, great bun. Seasoned chicken, delicious. Delicious. With the shredded iceberg lettuce over the top. It's a nice touch. Y'all don't
High
know
praise.
what y'all missing. The Italian sub, the meatball sub. They've got a French dip sandwich.
They got mozzarella sticks as a side.
I don't know what y'all doing. I don't know what y'all doing. The apple pies, the apple fritters.
The orange cream shake in the summer, fire.
Bam, they got like 7 different sauces to dip. Y'all sleep on Arby's, but that's okay. Don't go there because every time I go to the Arby's, the line be nice and quick. I get my food, it be fresh, it be hot. So don't start going there.
I feel like every time I go to an Arby's, I'm the only one in line, and then 2 people follow me into it. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's open. And then they go over, it's fine, cool. You take no Arby's. Because I get my food nice and fast and hot.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Breck Warren said, "Chili slander gotta stop. Me and the family went on Friday night. First of all,
You lying. Plant. He's a plant. He's a plant.
that's crazy.
Who said that? Who said that went to
Breck said
Friday
that.
night? Breck Warren is a plant. He's a Chili's plant. He's part of the drug ring operation to keep Chili's going as a front.
Okay.
He on the payroll. He owned the payroll. Plant.
Yo,
I'm gonna do that. If I ever see one again, I'm gonna walk into a Chili's and show y'all what I see when I go in there. It's gonna be bare walls just everywhere. It ain't gonna be nothing nowhere.
nah, bro. There's gonna be 2 people in there.
Ain't gonna
2
be
people is
nobody in
nuts,
there.
but there's gonna be 2 people in there, and they'll both be at the bar.
Okay. Ain't gonna be no
Anyway.
supplies nowhere. Ain't even gonna be no chairs. That's how
No
well
chairs.
they're convincing y'all that
Sit
they
your ass on
still
the
open.
floor.
That is how well that they are convincing. Sit. Ain't nobody arriving. The last time you sitting back and said, where we gonna go eat today? I don't know. Let's go to Chili's. Said no one ever, Breck Warren. Said no one
Yeah, I've
ever.
never sat in Chili's. Yeah, that's nuts. That's nuts. Perp said Raising Cane's is opening up in his hometown. He's about to see what the hype is about. It's the sauce.
I heard they just moved to North Carolina. Are you? Is that where you at? Well, you don't got to air yourself out to everybody, but my sister let me know that they was bringing one in North Carolina in her area, so she was pretty excited as
The
well.
hype is the sauce, though. It's the sauce.
Yeah. I mean, the chicken is what it is. It's gonna be real fresh. It's gonna be real juicy. The seasoning is what it is. Boy, you may end up drinking that out of a cup.
The sauce and the lemonade. The lemonade is fire and underrated.
Lemonade's good. The fries are good when they're salted.
Yeah.
They're good when they're salted. Put some salt on the fries.
Agreed. Yeah, if you're down south, I feel like down south is more of a Zaxby's and Bojangles.
Bojangles is the shit. Bojangles is
Bowberry
their
biscuits.
Popeyes
Bowberry biscuits.
or churches.
Fire.
Bojangles hits for sure.
He said he's in Jersey, by the way.
Jersey. Oh, okay.
All right.
Moving north.
Yeah, facts. All right. On to my L's. First L. We've been talking about this man for multiple times within the last couple weeks or so. And this man is Slim Thug. Slim Thug, fresh up off
Mr. Cousin Wife.
The cousin allegations, has decided maybe his cousin isn't enough because he tried to slide in Khaleesi's DMs and he couldn't, so he slid in her comments and got fried for loving his cousin. How you shoot your shot with another woman and get fried in the comments for loving your
Niggas
cousin?
like, hey, your cousin ain't gonna like this, fam.
That's crazy. That is nuts.
First of all, I'm about to flame both of them at the same time because I don't think that Slim Thug is Khaleesi's type.
Yeah, going from Nas to Slim Thug is kind of nuts.
I don't think she went from Nas to Slim Thug. Wasn't she dating Bill Murray?
Was she?
Oh, excuse
Bless
me.
you.
Google that, or I'll Google it. Let's see.
Maybe she was dating somebody else.
But anywho, no, that's equally, that's embarrassing. Very embarrassing.
Yes,
I think it's safe to say that your shot was not received.
at all.
And that once you saw that everybody was making fun of you for impregnating your cousin,
Chances are very slim.
I think you should chalk that one up now. You should chalk that up. Try Tiffany Haddish, though. She may be down.
Yo, maybe, but yo.
She'll probably be down.
Yeah, no, his chances are very slim with Khalees. Ba-doom, tsh. All right. On to some devastating news. Very devastating. When I heard it, I almost wept a thug tear for it. The 21 no, that's not what I wanted. The 21 Savage movie that we watched the trailer for was a parody and is not coming out.
They should have at least made like a YouTube short or some shit, like a YouTube series about it. You know what I mean? They could have at least done a YouTube series. Otherwise, why are you wasting Stranger Things and Donald Glover's time for that shit?
Facts.
You're just wasting
And
time
Wanda.
for it. And Wanda.
And Fresh Prince. Banks.
Jabari Banks is
Jabari Banks,
Metro
yeah.
Boomin.
You know what I mean?
Super
Like,
fake facial hair. That would look crazy.
that film would have been so great for the memes, and they just ruined it. I'm just like, the trailer itself had a meme of Donald Glover as 21 Savage. Like, bruh, I'm so disappointed. I wanted this to be a movie.
Sure.
Yeah, I really wanted this to be a movie, and I'm just totally disappointed and devastated at the same time. It is what it is. Okay. On to something that might cause a little bit of a conversation. My tabs are all over the place. Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion are apparently beefing, and I don't really care too much about all of it, but I just have one point. I heard Nicki Minaj calling Meg Thee Stallion bullet fragment foot bitch. Nuts. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And some of the barbs are rocking with it when I'm sure there's some overlap with that and the whole Tory thing. So I know you're not laughing at bullet fragment foot bitch, but then you were defending Meg during the trial. Crazy.
Yeah, I hate to break it to y'all. I think we have another fake celebrity beef going on.
You think so?
We got another fake celebrity beef going on. Well, think about it. Have you been hearing her talk very boisterously about the sales for Pink Print?
No.
Or whatever that shit was that just came out. Is that what it was called, Pink Print?
Pink Print 2? Or Pink Friday?
Print, whatever. Have you been hearing her be very loud about the sales for Pink Print 2 or whatever the hell the album was called?
No. No.
Is that common for Nicki Minaj in album mode?
I think her one single is doing okay. The Everybody's song.
Anybody can spam radio and spam. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's not what
I'm hearing the single though. That's a first for her for like the last decade.
She can get on anybody's single and make it semi-relevant. We had Motorsport. We had fucking the shit that her and Meg did 2 years ago when they was cool.
Like 7 years ago.
Anyways, we know that she can come on and make a single. I'm talking about the album. Remember when she was fighting with Tyler a couple years ago because Tyler had the #1 album
and Travis,
and it was all these excuses and all this hate and all this other shit. We know she cared about that shit. She ain't talking about it. It's because she doesn't have it to talk about. Conversely, on the other side, I don't think post-Tory trial, post-party breakup, I don't think that Meg is necessarily at her most popular. All right, like her and Nicki Minaj don't have the same problem, but they do. Nicki Minaj is in the elder statesman part of her career, and that elder statesmanship is not earning her any cool points with today's demographic. Meg Thee Stallion is in a position of being a victim of some violence. She's also in a position of being the hurt woman in light of some new infidelity, and somehow she can't curtail that into positivity. She can't curtail that into a boost in an approval rating. Right? She's as unpopular now as she was when everybody thought she was lying about getting shots.
Agreed.
So this seems like a mutually beneficial beef to both women's profile in lieu of getting this product sold. How about it, Queen?
It does coincide with Meg releasing a single.
Straight out the Drake playbook, if I ever seen it.
It does coincide with Megan releasing her single Hiss at the same time as Nicki's dropping a new single called Barefoot or Bigfoot. Is another diss, I guess. I don't know.
You couldn't respond to Remy Ma ever, but you had a response ready for a response to a track that Meg made 3 days ago.
Nah, bruh. Nicki Minaj denies Bigfoot is a Megan Thee Stallion diss.
You see, that's what gives it away to me. Is because when they asked Meg, oh, who what was the song about? Oh, well, I just made it, and anybody who was hurt about it needed to be. Okay. Nicki Minaj has her response out within days. No, it's not a Meg beat. It's not a Meg this. Like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna pay no attention. I'm not gonna pick a side. I'm not gonna give a fuck what anybody says to anybody. Regardless, they both got shit that they can say. Shot foot, rapist husband, y'all both got shit that y'all can throw, right? I'm not gonna pay attention to anyone. I'm not gonna pick a side. I'm not going to engage. Because I know what you're going to want me to do is listen to the music that comes off of this, and it ain't getting no better. It ain't getting no better.
That's a fact.
So if that's what I'm supposed to be paying attention to, is, oh, we're gonna get all this good music because of the beef. No, I'm gonna mind my business and then watch it go away. If y'all stay disciplined and y'all don't jump out your skin every time Nicki Minaj say something crazy about Meg, and you don't jump out your skin every time Meg drop a diss album over Nicki Minaj, if y'all just stay calm and ignore this shit, I promise you it'll go away. I bet it do. If it does, we don't get any bigger headlines than this in the next week, it'll go away. It'll go away.
Agreed. Perp has a good point. He said, "How many L's Nicki gonna have for people to stop calling her the queen of rap?" There's a lot of L's
Well,
going on in her
this
corner.
point, yeah, at this point, she's not conducting herself as anybody who could even expect to have the game in a chokehold. Like you reaching down to the younger age demographic and doing like lesser media to promote your album. You don't really have the numbers to go out there and be like, yeah, it's a huge success. And now you are beefing with people like on a regular basis who have been in the game a fraction of the time that you have Cardi, Lotto, Meg. You look like the old ass hater. You look like an old ass hater.
Very much so.
You look like.
It's giving old
But
ass hater.
It can still be mutually beneficial because as long as they're putting out content towards it and people have their eyeballs pointing towards it, they'll use the content. Oh, this is another one towards Meg. Let me listen to it to see what she said. That is the value in her as an artist now, is being able to push shit like that. It's no longer, oh shit, we waiting on the new Nicki. We waiting on that new Nicki. That new Nicki! Ain't nobody waiting on that new Nicki.
I was never waiting on the new Nicki.
It's boof, and nobody's waiting for it anymore. All right, so now to sell that new Nicki, you got to slip a Mickey into somebody's drink and just put it underneath them and let them go to sleep with it. That's the only way that people are taking it. The only way you can sell that new Nicki is to slip somebody a Mickey.
That's crazy. That's a bar? That's what you doing? That's a bar?
Or
all right, let's move on. So I'm giving an L to defense in the NBA. Last week we briefly discussed Joel Embiid's 70, and now Luka is out here scoring 73 in the same week. And I think Devin Booker had some crazy number. Bro, defense is dead in the NBA. Can we just agree to that at this point? There is no defense being played in the NBA.
When I watched LeBron James play basketball, like how he played against who did we just beat? We beat the Warriors in double overtime, right? And I'm watching him play, man. I'm like, damn, he take a lot of 3-pointers. I'm like, damn, that handle looks slow. Damn, man. Damn. I wish he was faster. And he ended up winning the game. D'Angelo had a great game.
Off of 2 free throws.
He battled through. He stayed in the game through some injuries. It was a good all around effort. So like, and LeBron grabbed like 20 rebounds. So shout out to him on that. But like, as I'm watching him play, the game was like 140 to 139 or some shit like that. So it just shows you what kind of defense was being played. And I began to understand it's like, I don't think necessarily we're looking at a offensive game that is beyond all others. I don't think the offensive players today are so much better than the offensive players from 15, 20 years ago that they're able to do this. The game has changed so much in the way that it is being called, in the way that coaches and coaching staffs are being able to hold guys accountable on defense. It is almost a foregone conclusion that if a star misses a rotation, he's allowed to not get out there. And you should not expect to see him yelled at, to see him chastised by a coach, because that is just not NBA culture. It's not. It is not. Miss a rotation, be late on a rotation, not close out with your hand up, throwing your hands up underneath the bucket when you feel like somebody else did wrong, one of your teammates falls down. So, it's not my guy, so let me. And all of this is not for LeBron. I know we got some Brown sexuals in here.
Nobody is taking accountability in defense.
Is not just LeBron. I'm talking about the way that defense is called on the NBA basis, period. Like team after team after team, star after star after star. Have y'all seen the Clippers play defense? Y'all see that the way that a guy that we used to champion as the premier lockdown defender in the NBA, in Kawhi Leonard, gets passed around like a fucking hot potato on defense now. Like,
gotta conserve that energy.
That is the way that it's being done. And the teams that do it differently played at a very high level. The Bucks, the Heat. Well, the Bucks when they weren't rumored to have turned on their coach or whatever,
Sure.
that narrative was. But the Bucks, Heat, I'm thinking about somebody in the West. The Warriors in their when they're at their best, right? When they're actually locking down and playing defense and they're rotating.
But even those teams aren't playing like lockdown D. It's like they're just giving
lockdown.
A little more effort.
Even still,
they're just giving a slight bit more
there's
effort.
so many buckets that they just concede. Like if you give up initial penetration, you're probably gonna give a bucket. You're probably gonna get a bucket. If you can beat the man in front of you in the NBA, you're probably gonna get a bucket.
Yeah, it's over.
And that is just the saddest reality. Because you were talking about some of the best athletes in the world who just don't have the discipline to stay in a stance. Or the want to be able to promote that part of their game. These niggas will go into a Lifetime Fitness and shoot 1,000 shots. Just so that they can come out here and shoot 39% from three-point and have the announcers kiss your ass because that's the second highest that you shot of your career. But what they won't do is go into that same gym and work the edges, work the baseline, work the sideline, sitting in their stance. What they won't do is go spend 10 minutes in a chair on the wall. Right? Oh, my knees. I haven't had my blood platelets spun. I ain't got my HGH. I can't put that much stress on my knees. But then they'll go out there and shoot 2,000 jump shots. To shoot like Westbrook.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like that is the culture of the NBA.
All my energy needs to go to the offense. To having a bag on offense.
That's the way the commissioner wants it. That's the way that they officiate it. That's the way they set up. Like them, we don't need no in season tournament. You know what you need to do? You need to promote defensive stats more. You need to make sure that defensive stats play into all-star voting as much as offensive stats. Because it's literally half the game, and it should.
Yeah. I can't even think of the last time a defensive player of the year hasn't been like a big man.
Like I'll be honest with you, man. Like it's devaluing the product a bit. Like I am not all
Big
that
time.
excited to watch NBA games anymore, and I don't know if it's just a lack of rivalry, a lack of competitiveness. I've seen more blowouts in the NBA from teams who were supposed to be good teams, the Lakers, the Warriors, you know what I'm saying? The Nets, you know what I'm saying? I've seen more blowouts of those teams over the last several years than we could ever imagine the Bulls or the Spurs or the Heat in their heyday getting ran. It just was never happening like that. And nowadays, you seeing good teams get ran off the damn floor.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be a lot of continuity around the league either. Guys are just moving around so much. It just, I for one feel like the NBA is in danger of losing their position of the second most popular sport in America. Right? Like people really like hockey in the middle of the country. It runs longer as a sport. There's 116 hockey games as opposed to 82 basketball games. So their season is longer.
The
hockey, soccer, they're eligible contenders. If they keep fucking around, doing all this gimmicky stuff.
Yeah. The irony of them changing the rules to make it more of a flashy and fast-paced game, but then sacrificing the competitiveness of it, making it more boring. Like, I can't even imagine going to an NBA game because I don't know if my star is playing. And even if he is, I just don't think I'm going to get that great of a product out of going to said game, which is crazy.
Yeah, I just feel like, okay, so take the in-season tournament, for example. The Lakers won that, and now the Lakers are currently one game over 500.
That's crazy.
You want us to hang a banner for that in the same season where we're struggling to be over 500? Like, it just feels like a farce.
It does.
It really does.
It does. Oh, and shout out to a connoisseurs. He's right. Marcus Smart did win Defensive Player of the Year. I boofed that stat. But all right. Anyway,
But see, like, why shouldn't a player, if you take a player like, let's say, Trey Young, somebody who could be abused on the defensive end, but has ultra prowess on the offensive end. Trey Young's an automatic all-star, right? It's easy. We don't need to think about it too hard. He's going to be an all-star.
yeah.
Why isn't that same treatment available for a guy like Marcus Smart, who is a shutdown defender, whose defensive efficiency is far above any of his contemporaries? He's up there in steals. Don't know where he's at in blocks, but in terms of guards, I'm sure he's probably up there in defensive win shares. So why shouldn't that data, those analytics that y'all love so much, play as much as the offensive ones? Well, offensive ones sell TV contracts. They sell season tickets.
Well, if defense was actually touted as something good, Iman Shumpert will probably still be in the league, even though he's an offensive liability.
Antoine Johnson, I want you at some point, because I see you in the chat, thank you for commenting. At some point, I want you to go back to my Dubs and L's when you rewatch this earlier, or if you were here, and reference the conversation I had about the coordinators. I want you to give me your thoughts in the comments. I know he frequents a lot into these other chat rooms on these Michigan sites. I want to get your input.
Yeah, he said a lot on ours too, so shout out to him. Okay, 2 more L's. Let me just go full screen on this one. Bro, what in the fuck is going on with Vince McMahon and all this bullshit he's got going on?
Yeah, whatever it is, he did that shit.
He absolutely
shit. That boy resigned.
What in the hell?
Whatever it is, he did that shit 100%.
Jesus. It's so much crazy shit coming out.
I'm not even going to come out and proclaim my innocence. I'm resigning from the WWE effective immediately.
Yeah, y'all know I did that shit. Let me just go ahead.
Right.
Crazy. Absolutely wild. And then I saw something about Stephanie McMahon when she was younger and Macho Man Randy Savage.
They had a skit, right? Where, like, Stephanie was coming at Vince for, like, taking her to parties and basically setting her out is what they were alluding to. And so now some of those allegations have come out about Stephanie and some of the WWE talent, which is real gross. Apparently, your boy Vince had, like, a trophy case of fake appendages that he named after his wrestlers. All the black ones were black wrestlers. All the white ones were white wrestlers. So there was an Undertaker, there was a Kane, there was a Rock. Hey, yo, a black dildo named The Rock is nuts.
Crazy. That is crazy. You know what? Realistically,
there was a Rikishi. What did the Rikishi dildo look like? That's interesting.
There for sure was one.
I'm spitballing now.
Oh, okay.
But they did say that he had a collection of dildos that were named after his wrestlers.
Yo. You know what? That deserves to be in a Horny Police segment along with, have you seen these Taylor Swift AI pictures?
Yo,
crazy.
The Swifties got so mad at them pictures, they found out who the nigga was who created them.
They got him the fuck out of
Travis,
here.
Do you see what I'm talking about, Travis? Do you see? They found a man who made some AI fan art, okay? Travis, blink twice, buddy. Blink twice.
Yikes. The world is a very horny place right now, and it needs to just relax a little bit. Chill out. Anyway, all right, my last L is going to streamers, specifically Twitch and Kick streamers, who are going out of their way, feeding into a shit ton of clout and doing very fucked up things. And there is one who I believe is in some kind of relationship with Neon, if I'm not mistaken. And she recently got into like an altercation with an Uber driver. And the person who was filming, a friend of hers, I guess, stole the Uber driver's phone and then tried to gaslight him as if he was just an old man and didn't know where the fuck his phone was. Stole his phone and threw it in the street. Let's watch. Went into his car, stole the shit,
cancel the ride so I can get my money. Here's what we're doing. You're gonna cancel.
Walks
the ride
past
right
him.
now.
I don't carry a gun with me everywhere I go. I'm not that type of person. But for people who do, this is why I advise them to shoot y'all.
You saw her just throw it?
Why do y'all play with people? Why do y'all play around like this?
No, fuck that. I'm reporting this.
Then she tells
You
on
talking about
herself on the
recording him
stream.
and reporting him. You recorded a whole theft, loser. What's wrong with you? What are you even talking about?
And then he comes back for his phone because he knows she did something with it.
No, I want him to hit us. You're not touching my phone. That's a federal crime. Where is it,
Damn,
man?
this-
Do you have
this-
Alzheimer's?
you know who she is?
Are you?
She's acting like a lady who called the cops because their drug dealer stole her money.
Facts. Facts.
You have a video recording that's supposed to be bad news for the Uber driver, and yet you committed a crime on the camera. And now you won't get a man his shit back, and he know that you stole it.
Like, how dumb can you be, first of all? Second of all, what a
was that
shitty person.
SpongeBob song from SpongeBob movie? What was that Sponge? I'm a goofy goober, yeah. I'm a goofy goober, yeah.
Like, first of all, the whole clout situation, like, you're getting negative clout for this. Like, you're a shitty person, and people are going to recognize you for being a shitty person. But second of all,
what would possess you? What would give you the right to steal this man's phone for what? What?
because he missed a turn. Because he missed a turn. That's where all this started.
Y'all be out here playing with people. Y'all don't know their histories. Y'all don't know what kind of traumas they have. Y'all don't know what they will do to y'all, and y'all just play like this. I don't understand.
Facts.
Goofy games.
Facts.
Goofy ass games. Hey, shout out to William Moloch, because he's 100% right. This is exactly how Jonathan Majors
Yeah.
lost his career. So now, if this man run up there and snatch his phone away from them, they could claim that they were assaulted mistakenly and get a conviction off of third-degree assault and harassment.
Yeah.
So I guess he should just be a goober and sit there and hope that they don't break his shit or run off with it and do something else with it.
Bullshit.
Hope
Shout out
this
to
isn't happening in New York or anywhere near Manhattan so that Alvin Bragg can get his racist hands all over.
I don't know where that was, honestly. But shout out to Racing by Heart 101. This was one of Sneeko's exes, not Neon. It was one of Sneeko's exes.
Oh.
Still on that
That's
same
too
clout
bad.
board. Shout out to Tony
Joe.
Robinson saying, "Damn, Vince a booty patrolman. That's crazy." William Moloch said he missed the whole Taylor Swift thing. I don't believe him. He saw it. He lying. He caught them AI pictures. Anyway, any other dubs, L's, anything else that you want to discuss? That was a pretty long discussion.
Yeah, no, we was here for a while. That's it for me. I didn't have any other dubs or else.
Yeah, no.
Appreciate everybody showing up.
Absolutely. Happy birthday once again to Marcus. Happy 41st birthday. Shout out to the guy.
I am 31.
41?
31.
41.
10 years younger than thee.
4-1. Dirk Nowitzki number.
But that would make you 50. You want to be 50?
I am not 50. I am 22.
If I'm 40, that would make you
Deuce,
50.
deuce. What? First of all, we are
You're
not
22?
9 years in difference.
What are you talking about? All right, let's just wrap it up.
We
I
are
think
not
you're getting
9 years in.
confused, guys.
You're trying to
Late
gaslight
at
me like
night,
this old
you get
man.
confused. It's all right. Yeah, let's
You're
just
trying to
wrap it up.
gaslight
Let's
me
get out of here.
just like that girl did that old ass man. We are not 9 years in difference. That's crazy. But you're 41. It's okay.
Hey, bro. It's okay, man. Oh, good.
Anyway, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody for congratulating us on 3K. Shout out to y'all for getting us to 3K. Shout out to everybody for wishing Marcus a happy birthday once again. His birthday is tomorrow. So
Shout out to Chill and Gray for retweeting the stream as well.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, shout out to them for that. Other than that, y'all, peace out. Appreciate y'all once again. Shout out to all 3K of y'all. Peace.